fans of these fancy face toasters, I'm here to show you right now more free games that you can download for the Quest 3, the Quest 3S, and the Quest 2. And as a reminder, this is part 7. I typically include about 10 per showcase, so if you enjoy this one, you can see another 60 free games right here on the channel after this. And as always, if you're gonna do one thing while watching this video, please don't do what I'm doing. This is very expensive. Please leave a review for the developers on their store page and help them out by giving them some honest feedback. Because telling developers what the average gamer enjoys and what they think needs improvement helps more than you know. Now, let's start off this showcase with a game that's great for some of you with a prickly personality. This is a hand-based locomotion style game that's reminiscent of the core gorilla tag, where instead of gorillas, you are cacti, and instead of infected gorillas, you're running from aliens. You can use guns to defend yourself and even set up decoy cacti. The game has a fun art style, pretty sizable map, cosmetic options, and there even is a native live camera inside of there for those of you who are content creators. You can make some footage in there that looks even better than normal capture on standalone Quest games. This game ended up being pretty fun, which makes pretty sense considering most people in my life called me a prick. It's a passion project created by two brothers, and if you wanted to enjoy a new hand-based locomotion game, then I hope you have some fun in Cactus Jam. But let's move from a cartoon style to an anime style for those of you who are fans of Naruto. Ninja Clash is a PvP style game where up to 4 players fight in the street with jujitsu style moves. There's wall running, teleportation, fire moves, earth moves, and even lightning blades. Everybody fights and the last player standing at the end of the round wins, and if you get up to 3 wins, you are the victor of the match. Oh, and there's also a barrier that closes in on you that you should watch out for. The way that you perform moves are fairly interesting and actually remind me a bit of how Rumble works if anybody's ever heard of that game. Depending on what buttons you push in your controllers and the spacing between your hands, you can actually do different hand gestures in sequence to perform moves. The lower level moves only require 1 gesture, while the higher tier moves may require you to do 2 or 3 in succession. And all moves can be equally effective if you know how to use them. I managed to get some pretty good stealth kills and even win a few matches despite only learning 1 move with a limited amount of time that I played. But yeah, if you ever wanted to try a Naruto style game in VR, then look no further. Because if people are gonna call you a weeb, you might as well enter into a VR realm where your hand gestures actually do something. However, if you're tired of wall running and you need to sit down, then maybe take a seat for this tabletop VR game. Dark Sword is a VR tabletop game with a simple goal: spawning your soldiers at the right time and place to kill the enemy team's titans and win the match. As the match goes on, you'll have an energy bar that fills up that you can use to launch artillery-based attacks or spawning troops. Being strategic on what you spawn in and where will help you win the match. And the options you have to pick from are randomized, so don't expect to just spawn in a bunch of heavy hitters all the time. And the pool of who you choose from also increases over time as you play the game, level up, and unlock new characters. As you continue to push the enemy forces back, you'll be able to spawn your units closer and closer to the enemy's side of the map. And if you manage to take down their immobile units or do more damage to their immobile units by the time that the timer stops, you win. It's a simple tabletop strategy game with a fun art style that I enjoyed. By the way, as a reminder, in case you want to see more content, I do other game showcases on here so you can see even more. Also, I do create regular gameplay content at the channel right above my head on here, VR Central, where you can see full YouTube videos, YouTube shorts, and I create content on Twitch as well. So if you enjoy VR gameplay content and not just me rambling off all the time, hope to see you in the YouTube comments and the Twitch live streams. But now let's move into your own living room with some fun mixed reality. Brought to you by Humpty Dumpty. This is a mixed reality game with a VR option for those of you on Quest 2. And I gotta say, I had way more fun in here than I thought I would. It's not groundbreaking by any means, because if it was, the eggs would shatter. But you'll be placed into random lobbies where you face off against other players in either PvP or parkour races. With the PvP, you get weapons and try to knock the other players off the side of the map. With the parkour, it's a very simple point A to point B race, but there's obstacles, enemies, vehicles, and you can even pick up weapons to use on the other NPCs or players. I love the art style in here, and especially the aspect of having the parts of the map form in front of me in my own play space. It was pretty cool. And as a side note, I feel like the cosmetics can be pay to win purely because I'm looking at this cluster of default eggs and I have no idea who I am! However, if you're a bigger fan of FNAF than Humpty Dumpty, then maybe you'll like this next VR game. This game is called Horror. Literally, that's it. Just horror. Need I say more? You're in a dark area that used to make people laugh and entertain them, but now you're making a sound that's even louder than laughing. Screaming like a little wuss. Overall, it was a VR horror game that was inspired by FNAF so much that even the creature that mimics Bonnie has the same confusing movement pattern. Shut doors, keep your eyes glued to those monitors, and make sure you don't run out of power. It also does have multiplayer, but it recently went behind a paywall. However, for you horror fans that also love Poppy's Playtime, I think you'll like this next VR title as well. Just like the previous title, this is also a fan-made game, but by somebody who really loves Poppy's Playtime. For the record, there is a Poppy's Playtime VR experience on PC VR, but this one is an entirely new fan-made creation available on standalone Quest. You'll navigate through an abandoned toy factory, gather clues, solve puzzles, and use your hand tools as well as Gorilla Tag-based motion. It's certainly not up there with the quality of Poppy Playtime by any means, but for a free experience, it's fun, and you can see that the developer put a lot of love and passion into this fan project. And in case the algorithm gods are watching, this is legally distinct Poppy's Playtime. And while this next title may not be a horror game, it can be if you have arachnophobia. Spiders is a VR social game with Gorilla Tag-based movement. There are 2 maps to swing around in, and you can even climb up surfaces as a spider. There are spider-killing rats, as well as game modes that will randomly pop up in lobbies to compete in. I also learned that whatever I was eating must have been eating something spicy because I did not know that my webs could explode. And yes, they do have free and paid cosmetics inside the game as well. It's a very simple game without a lot of depth, but for a free game, I did get to shoot and swing around with a web shooter like I was Spider-Man. But now it's time to gather up all your friends for a party. A punch party. Punch Party, much like the previous title, does not have a lot of depth, but it is fun to whack people off. Oh, the side of the map. Sorry, it was on the next page of the script. After equipping your cosmetics, you can go into your specific individual training ground and punch whatever objects that you place in there to gain in-game currency. Then you can move into the brawling arena to challenge other players. It works a lot like a Smash Bros. Style, where each player has a percentage above their head, and it increases whenever they get hit. The more they get hit, the further they fly whenever you hit them again. Like I said, not a lot of depth, but it is very fun to send your friend to the stratosphere. Lastly, let's chill out for those of you who are fans of Candy Crush. I never thought I would be saying this, but this is just a mixed reality Candy Crush. I can't imagine most VR fans enjoying this versus more action-intense games, but it was satisfying to match the colors. Games like this and the egg game that we showed earlier in the video, I think are good transition games. Something you can download and show to a friend to show them how cool VR and mixed reality can be that's not too intensive if they've never worn a headset. And after completing each level, you can use in-game currency to decorate a town as well. And there you have it, some more free games that you can download on your Quest right now. Thank you for watching, keep those face toasters charged, and I'll see all of you in the next one. Peace out.